Hello and welcome to my November recap. Although this is going to be a little longer than November because I actually started this reading journey in October, about the middle of October. In the intro to the video there, you saw me opening up my first book that I had bought myself. I couldn't help myself. I got the really nice copy of The Hobbit, which you can see up on my shelf up here now. It's up there, ready for me to read. And I just thought I'd start off talking about what I'm reading at the moment to begin with. So, this is the book that I'm reading at the moment. Try and get that in frame. The Parachute Inventory by David Webster with the foreword from Stephen Ambrose, this is the book that inspired the book Band of Brothers, which then went on to be a series, which I absolutely love. Now, this book has been on my shelf for quite a long time. My wife bought this for me along with Band of Brothers, and I have been putting off reading it. I finally started reading it now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm averaging sort of around about sort of 4 to 6 pages a day. That is down to some of it my dyslexia, so the speed that I can read and the amount of time I have to read, because I have quite a busy life. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this book. What I'm really hoping to do is finish the book by Christmas, because I'm hoping that Santa might bring me a few books. Now, what was interesting, someone asked me what I'm reading at the moment, so that's what I'm reading at the moment. But what I really would like to read, and in the future, so what are my plans of my reading in the future? I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go with the reading, what books to read. I've got quite a few books on the shelf that I haven't read yet, or some that I do have read. Obviously, Hobbit is a good candidate for that. I've also got the Chronicles of Narnia on the shelf behind me there. We have the Harry Potter books within the household, although I have read all those a long time ago. They're one of the very few books that I've actually read cover to cover. I'd seen most of the films. If I remember rightly, I read all the books just as the last book was being released, and then read the last book once I'd finished the rest of the series, and again completely loved it, but found it a lot easier to read because I've watched the films, which gave me a bit of insight and understanding some of the words that I might not be able to pick up very well. So whilst I was in trying to decide what to read, I happen to be watching the Equalizer films, where the main character there is reading the 100 books that everyone should read. So I kind of Googled that and had a look at that. And I had this epiphany. I started asking ChatGPT to come up with some reading list for me, and it started asking me some questions. I do apologise. I've not put my phone on silent. I have decided also that I am not going to edit my videos. I don't have time for things like that. I've taken yeah, it's Tyrone Ross, another booktuber who doesn't edit his videos. So I'm taking some inspiration from him and just get on with it. Well, so yeah, so ChatGPT started asking me some questions about what sort of books I'd like to read, and then I started to think about that. What do I enjoy? And because I started watching a few videos on YouTube of books and recommendations, it seemed to be I was getting quite a lot of fantasy readers, booktubers coming on and talking about some of these big epic fantasy series, and it reminded me of Lord of the Rings and how much I love the Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth world. Yes, I've only watched the films. I haven't read in the books yet. And I was aware that the world is a lot bigger than what we see in the films. And that really kind of excited me. The big world, lots going on. I always find that if I'm watching a series of films, that I get to the last one, I feel a bit sad. I'm a bit sad that's it. I've finished. So I started looking for like the big top series in fantasy, and other things are starting to come to my mind of things of types of fantasy that I'm interested in, and Lord of the Rings is probably one of my favourite kind of worlds within the fantasy film genre. And I decided to start looking for medieval themed series. Now that took me a long conversation with ChatGPT, bringing up different series, different books, looking at the different reading orders, recommending what orders to read things in, um, and that did start to really intrigue me. So I want to just kind of share with you that list. Um, but I'll be doing it by the magic of it. I'm going to have to edit because I've just realised I've started recording. I've not loaded the file, so I can't actually show you the file. Um, so I will probably just edit a little bit while I just bring up the file, and I'll come back with the file so we can talk it through it. Okay, so I am back. So here on the screen you can see the list. Now ChatGPT put it into stages for me because I did say that I was a beginner into the world of fantasy, and I asked it to put them into reading order that will ease me into the genre. So I'm going to run through this list with you. If you've got any recommendations of things that shouldn't be there, or things that should be there, or things in the wrong order, please do pop in the comments below. I would be really interested to get some feedback from other people on this, because at the moment this is just an AI engine that has built this. I have asked it to add things in there, things like the Chronicles of Narnia, because I have them on my shelf. So that wasn't one that came up originally. So we start off with Tolkien. As I understand, he is the godfather of fantasy. So I've got The Hobbit. So I've got the first book in that. I've not been filling these bits out at the end, but I've got The Hobbit. So that is certainly something that I'll be looking to read. Then we've got the Chronicles of Narnia. I do know the Chronicles of Narnia have a special place in my heart. In that it reminds me of Sunday afternoons. So I was brought up in a Christian household, so we'd go to church every Sunday. And then we'd come home and we'd have our Sunday dinner, and then we would sit in the front room and my dad would read a chapter of the Chronicles of Narnia wherever we were up to, whilst my siblings would sit around in the lounge listening. And that kind of, thinking about the Chronicles of Narnia kind of reminds me of that time. So it's I don't actually know the full story of Horse and His Boy and the full story of The Last Battle. I know the others quite well. I have read Magician's Nephew myself, and then Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of Dawn Treader, and Silver Chair were all made into a series by the BBC many years ago, which I watched over and over again. So much so that I actually bought the DVDs for my daughters to watch, and I prefer them to the Disney films. I very much prefer them to the way Disney's done them. Then we got Earthsea, that series. Don't really know much about that. That's one that was suggested by ChatGPT. Belgrid Universe. Sorry, I do apologise. As you know, I'm dyslexic, so I'm going to struggle with some of these names. That's another one I don't know anything about. So I need to do a bit of research into that one. And then Ousted Art, is that pronounced that way? Hey, if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Again, another one I don't really know much about. And then there's Terry Brooks. Now, Terry Brooks seems to come up in quite a few of the videos that I'd watched. And the Shannara Saga, I think I've pronounced that correctly. And this one excites me quite a bit because it's big. Lots of books, and I feel like I could just get lost in this world. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. That one, and then Pern, Dragon. I can't even read that now; it's too small on my screen. Dragon Riders of Pern. Again, another one that seems to have been suggested somewhere along those. I don't remember where this came into the conversation, but I don't really know much about this particular series. So I'll be interested to look into that. The Wizarding World, Harry Potter, obviously we've got them on the shelf, so I did tell ChatGPT to put them in there. Would like to read through them again at some point. Now, these next ones, that John Grain, I think that's how you pronounce it, John Grain. I'm quite excited about these. I've heard quite a lot, and I've heard that he's very good at writing big battles, and that's something that I really loved about the Lord of the Rings, and massive big battles. So I'm quite looking forward to getting into my teeth into some of these. And this is one of the ones I've definitely put on my wish list. So hopefully someone's gonna get me the Faith and the Fallen. In fact, all three of his series are in my wish list. So we'll see what I get. Obviously I understand that you need to read Faith and the Fallen before of Blood and Bone. So if no one gets me the Faith and Fallen, I've got the others. I will go out and buy the Faith and Fallen to read them first. And then we go on to this second stage, where it's supposed to get a bit deeper, a bit slightly heavier reading, mindset, or more complex reading. Um, Belgrade. If we just had that up here, has that been entered twice? Oh, is it another set of books? Okay, so again, I don't really know about this universe, but it seems to be split over two different sections that ChatGPT has recommended for me. Um, the next ones here, these James. I'm not going to try and pronounce the surname there. We actually own the first three books here. We went on holiday during sort of the first summer of the COVID period, so we couldn't go abroad, which we would normally do for the summer. We'll take the girls abroad somewhere, but that year we went to Hastings, which is something I wanted to do for quite some time, and we went and had a look around some of the old battlefields and of 1066 and things like that. And these books were on sale in one of the the gift shops. That's the words I'm looking for. Gift shops. The first three. So we actually have those three on the shelf downstairs. So I'm quite excited to get my teeth into them and read them. And then this next one, Paul Bennett. This is one I actually stumbled across on YouTube, and the fact that this guy's only been writing since 2019 and he's produced this many books. I've had a look at some of the reviews and they look like they could be quite interesting. They're sort of the medieval theme. So I would like to give these a go and see what they're like. Moving on to the third stage, again getting a bit heavier. Now the Dragon Lace, again, I saw something on YouTube about them, and it's huge world, absolutely huge world, and that's what really excites me. I want to get into a world that seems to never end. I don't want to get to the end of anything, so I'm quite excited to start looking into that. Whether this is the best reading order, I don't know. I will do a bit more research into the best reading order, but this one goes on forever, and this does excite me quite a bit. Of how big this one are, and then going into the Forgotten Realms, which also is huge. And I understand the Dragon Lace and the Forgotten Realms. Do correct me if I'm wrong. They're kind of the Dungeons and Dragons sort of universes worlds. Dungeons and Dragons is a game that I've always wanted to try and play. I played it once, and quite enjoyed it, but haven't played it ever since. I didn't really know anyone as I grew up that was into this sort of stuff, so I kind of missed out on that as a teenager. But maybe one day I'll find some people to be able to start playing it, or find the time as well. Need the time. Don't have a lot of time. So Forgotten Realms is another massive one that I'm quite looking forward to. This next one, Midkarima. I don't know much about that one. That's another one that just sort of popped into when I think I've made the list, and then I said to ChatGPT, "Is there any other series that are missing from this list that you would recommend we add?" And that was one of them. And I think no, Terry Goodkind, the Sword of Truth was already in the list. It was one of the first ones that were bought in. And then the Jim Bridges one, that's another one I don't really know much about, so I'll do a bit more research into that one. Then we're going to stage 4, where we start off with Discworld. I hear a lot of people talk about Discworld. In sort of a hobby world, I am a lighting and sound designer for theatres, and I actually worked on a stage adaptation of Weird Sisters. No, Witches Abroad. It was called Witches Abroad, and I got talking to the person that did the translation from book to stage, and he said it was a marvelous series to get into, but it was in the wrong time in my life where I just didn't want to read. I will be honest, I didn't want to read. So yeah, I'm excited to get my teeth in it. I don't think there's more books in this, I'm sure. In fact, I don't even see Witches Abroad on there, so that's interesting. So I need to make sure all the books are in there, or whether they were in the wrong order somewhere. And then we got Robin Hobb. Apparently his books are amazing as well, so I'm quite looking forward to getting my teeth into those eventually. There's a few more little ones there that I don't. Gentleman's Bastard. Am I right in saying this isn't finished? This series isn't finished, so I'm a bit hesitant about that. I think I saw somewhere that there's supposed to be a 4th book, but we've been waiting for a long time for that 4th book. I don't know if it's actually going to come. I'm a bit nervous just because of some of my OCDs and the need to sort of complete things like that. I'm a bit concerned about starting to read that and then not actually get to the end, and it's going to bother me. So I might stay a bit clear of that. The Witcher. This popped up, and I'm kind of assuming, and I haven't looked into this. Is this the same as the Netflix series, The Witcher? If so, I'm quite excited to actually read to see what the original text is like. I've seen the series. I think there's a new series out that I haven't seen yet. I might be wrong on that. So much goes past. I've got so much going through my brain, I can't really remember. This Night Angel one, I don't even know where this is another one that I think was added in after I said, is there anything you I should add? And then we're going to stage 5 again, getting a bit deeper into it. And now Stormlight Archives, I hear a lot about, and Brendan Sanderson's writing. I'm looking forward to getting into these. I am looking forward to getting to these, and the rest of his stuff. So the Wheel of Time apparently is a great read as well, and there's a lot of that. So I'm quite excited about. You can probably tell I'm excited for the ones that got lots of books in. This one here in the Brent Weeks, I don't know much about this one, but it's on the list. I'll look into it a bit more when I get closer to it. And then stage 6 is like the top stage that ChatGPT gave me. And we're looking at the Song of Ice and Fire. This is going to be intriguing. I never really got through the TV series. Got a bit bored of it, if I'm honest. But I've got a feeling I'm going to enjoy the books more. We'll see. From what I understand, they didn't do a very good a job of finishing the story off in the series. But I never got that far. But yeah, that's something I'll look forward to. The Circle of the World. Yes, I recognise this name for people to. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I do apologise. I have heard people talk about this, and this is good. So yeah, looking forward to yes, the first law. Yeah, sorry, this is the world they're based in. So I've got the list telling me what the world is based in, then the series names. Should be in sort of the proper reading order, but as I say, as I get closer to these, I will check. I'll do some more research. And then we've got some more Glenn Cook. I don't know much about these series. I do apologise. I mean, that I'm only just getting into this. I've literally been reading for about 6 weeks and realised that fantasy and sort of the medieval world of fantasy is what I want to get into. So I don't know a lot of these names yet. I'm trying to get to know these names and what their writing styles are like from watching a lot of videos. And that's when I'm not reading. So I'm trying to get as much reading as I can done. Mark Lawrence, Broken Empire. Yeah, I think I've seen a video about that, so that's quite interesting. Book of the Fallen. Now this is another one that comes up quite a lot, so it sounds like it's going to be a good read. So that is my reading list. That is 483 books. That is a massive reading list. But if there's anything you think is in the wrong order there, or you think I should be missing out, now I have stuck to series, um, because as I say, I don't. I'm a sort of person that needs things to go on for longer, and I'm not sure if one book is going to be enough, and I'm going to feel a bit low after a book. But it's not going to say that I'm not going to try some standalones. If you've got anything, I've not put any in this list yet, but if you've got any recommendations of standalones where you think they should kind of fall on this list, to get me into this world. The one thing that's not on there, I know there's a few sci-fi fantasies that I've seen. Red Rising, and there was another one, a Jade City, I think. So I've heard good things about, and I might dive into a bit of sci-fi. It's not normally my thing, although I love. I'm actually currently watching the Star Wars, all the Star Wars stuff whilst I'm um, whenever I've got time to sit down to watch anything. So I do like a bit of sci-fi. I grew up on Star Wars, so it's one of my favourites. So when I was thinking about the sort of worlds and genres I'm really into, those were the two. It was Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. But yeah, if there's anything on there that you don't think is there's anything on there that you don't think is right in the right place or in the right order, please do let me know in the comments below. I'll be really appreciative because this is going to be a living document. I'm going to keep changing things around. Then going on to what I was trying to say earlier. I'm really bright now because I've got that. There we go. It's blinding me, that white thing on my other screen. Talking about what I'm going to read next. Yes, I've got The Hobbit on the shelf now, which I'm looking forward to reading. I've got the Chronicles of Narnia, and I've got the Harry Potter books all downstairs that I'm looking forward to reading as well. However, as the weeks have gone in and I've started to investigate these other books and build this reading list for myself, I've kind of got the excitement of reading something that I don't know anything about. So I know the Harry Potter stuff. I know the Chronicles of Narnia. I know the Hobbit, and I know the Lord of the Rings. So I'm thinking I'm going to be starting off with something, um, something that I don't know. So if I just bring up sorry, I'm going white out now. I'm going really bright. So I do apologise if you're watching this in the dark, but I'm quite. It's going to be probably the Terry Brooks world of the Shannara saga. Is that how you pronounce it? Or I'd really like to get my teeth into the Faith and the Fallen. Those are the two I really want to get. So it's going to depend on what I get on Christmas Day of what I start reading next. So I'm quite looking forward to that, and that just want to get into a story that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the story, rather than something that I already know. That said, that's kind of it for me this time round. I probably won't post anything till the new year, and I'll show you what I get if I get anything for Christmas, what I get and what I've started to read, and start giving you a bit of an insight into that and how my journey of my reading is going. What I will say is, going down this road of starting this, and using this platform to try and encourage other people with dyslexia to pick up a book and try and read if they want to, even if it's just one page a day, just one page a day. I have decided to start a Discord server for other people like myself, dyslexic readers, adults, that just want to hang out or get support from other people. We're not saying it's just for people with dyslexia. If people want to join in and help and encourage other people to read and help with strategies of being able to read, then by all means come and join us. The link will either be on the screen now or will be in the description if I can paste it into the description, because I don't think I'm allowed to put links in external links in the description because I'm such a new channel, so it will be somewhere around here. So do come along and join us in there. The one thing I will say that at the moment I am asking that everyone is over the age of 18 to join, just while I'm trying to get my head around and understand the responsibilities for safeguarding for anyone under the age of 18 for online communities like this. And maybe build up a bit of the community before we start letting in any under 18s. This purely for safeguarding reasons. I do apologise if you feel a bit left out by that, but hopefully once I get an understanding of what we need to do to make sure that you are safe, you can come and join as well. But do come and join us. Do like, subscribe, and all that rubbish that everyone tells you to do with YouTube. And I will see you sometime in next year. Yeah, well, it'll be January. It'll be 2026. So please, everyone, have a good holidays, however you celebrate this coming month. And I will be posting another video in the beginning of January. Thanks a lot.